channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace. I'm a novelist and fiction writing teacher. I share writing tips and strategies on this channel and a dose of writing inspiration to inspire you to write. So today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is how to kickstart your book. Before I go on to talk about that very interesting topic, don't forget to like and share this video, smash the subscribe button, leave your comments down below, and let's go. Hi, my guess is that if you're watching this video, you are tired of the hunt. Let me explain. The hunt between your brain and those book ideas in it. You are fed up with the chase between your mind and those awesome best-selling book ideas. So what do? You get up and you write to your heart's content. You have 10,000 words and you're like, ooh, that was amazing. Then what? What about when you get tired and the idea is not flowing? The dots are not connecting anymore. What do? I'll tell you in a minute. You kickstart your book without any clear idea of what you want to write about or why you're writing it in the first place. And then the phase of disappointment in yourself begins and you begin to go downhill and you end up deleting those 10,000 words and the rest is history. To save yourself the heartbreak, I'm here to tell you today that before you begin to write, it's very crucial to think and plan. This is a key step that will help you make the mindset shift of becoming an author and not someone who still thinks it's impossible. So the first question is, why are you writing a book? The reason for writing a book varies from person to person. Some persons write to share a message with others. Some persons write to share knowledge on something important to them. Some persons write to earn a living, and some persons write to express their creativity. The list goes on and on. So why are you writing a book? I want you to answer that question in the comments down below before I continue. I've written it. The bigger picture is that knowing your why helps you to become authentic. Knowing your why helps you to create something real. When you don't know your why, you write pages that drive along the surface, and that's one thing your readers don't need. No readers mean no writers. Writers write for readers. So if you don't have a reader, books allow readers to go deep, and that starts with the writer knowing why they are writing the book. Your readers will read your book because of why you wrote it, not because they like you or your personality, your skin tone, or the way you speak. As writers, we want people to see value in what we write. We want our readers to buy that we have something interesting, important, exciting, educating, and entertaining to say. So, action step. Oh, you thought it was one of those videos where I motivate you and not tell you what to do. Action step. I want you to write down your why. If you're a little bit confused about this why, I'm going to leave a video in the cards for you somewhere around here or here to help you pick your brain a little bit. So I want you to be true to yourself as much as possible. Write down exactly why you want to write your book. After writing it down, stick it somewhere you can see it every day. The next question is, who is your ideal reader? Not everyone will read your book. Let me say it again. Not everybody will read your book. I said it. Sorry, don't hate the messenger. Truth lives here. Before I continue, I just want you to accept that fact. I'm going to give you a second to do that. Okay, let's go on. You have to accept that not everybody will read your book. While you hope, or while we hope, that everybody will love our book, you have to consider a smaller, narrowly defined group of readers that have certain desires and needs that you can meet. Your ideal reader needs one thing from you: entertainment, humor, escape, insight, information, or inspiration, and it's your job to deliver 100% and more. So action step: create a demographic of your ideal reader. There are a lot of things involved in creating a demographic, so I'm just going to read out a few. And if you want me to do a separate video on how to create a demographic, be sure to leave your comments down below. So a few things are your age of your reader, their location, their beliefs and values, their fantasies, their goals, and their hobbies. This question will help you create an avatar for your reader. Before I continue, pause this video and go, okay, don't pause. After the video, go and create your avatar. Okay, the next question is, what is your point? So every reader picks up a book for one reason or the other. Some persons just get compelled by just looking at the book, or some persons fell in love with the backstory at first sight. In other words, what are you trying to say? Why should we pick up your book? Why should we leave all those beautiful written books on the shelves in the library and pick yours up? What are you trying to say? You're like, what do you want from me right now? I'm telling you to be clear with your points. Let's use Hunger Games as a case study. The point was love triumphs over evil always. So I'm like, what's your point? Why should we pick up a book? You need to be clear with your message. Period. So the fun part, action step. Have 3 action steps for you. Make a brain dump of several perspectives for your book. Choose the one that best resonates with you and align yourself to this concept every time you sit down to write. You can also choose to write it on a sticky note and stick it to your work surface as a reminder every day. Now, back to the drawing board. Every day of our lives, we hear different stories from news, from social media, from our daily movements on the way, in cafe, restaurants, wherever. We hear stories every day. What am I trying to say? The difference between the stories you hear randomly on the street and everywhere and the one in a book is the shape. It's the structure. Am I giving you an aha moment? An aha moment, okay? Thank you. You're welcome. I want you to think of your book like a wet clay. You can craft it into anything of your choice. The first step is to choose your genre. Every genre has different rules to follow, so choose the one that best resonates with you and stick with it. Just a tip, pick a genre that you love to read about. And just one lovely quote by Stephen King, write for yourself and not the market. The next question is, what is your writing voice? Every book has a narrator, fiction or not. My point is, who is the voice of your story? Think about it. I think this is a very tricky concept for new writers to grasp. To understand who your narrator is, you need to know who your narrator is. You need to know their goals and purpose in your story. The goals and purposes of your narrator is what forms most part of your narrator. So the fun part, action step. Create a narrator map to track your narrator's journey. How? Write about your narrator, define their agenda and their goals. If you want me to do a video talking about the narrator and voice of your story, be sure to leave your comments down below and I will consider it. Next step is to align. You've found your writing voice. What do you do? Outline the major plot points of your story, and this is not for everybody. Some persons don't like to outline. I guess it doesn't suit their creative process, and that's fine. So if you're not the kind of person that outlines and is a plotter, that's fine. Do what suits your creative process. So if you are type to align, this is for you. Bring out a piece of paper and write out the outline of your book. I mean the whole book. Now it doesn't have to be overly detailed. Going from point A to point B is just fine. To make the process easier for you, use bullet points to break your plot points into parts. Now the fun part, action step. First step is I want you to brainstorm. Write down every single idea you've had about your story. Sit down, brainstorm everything, create a brain dump every single idea on paper. Next step is to organize. Organize your ideas into parts for easier referencing. Afterwards, order. Use bullet points to put those ideas into a particular order. The next step is to label. Label each part into sections or chapters. This is not a very detailed video on how to outline. If you want a video on how to outline, be sure to leave your thoughts and comment down below and I will consider that for you. The next step is to set your writing environment. Heads up, it's almost time to write. You need to set up your writing environment. The fun part, action step. The first step is inspiration. When setting your writing space, you need to start around things that inspire you. This varies for people. You can have inspiring frames on your work table or hanging on your wall. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can use sticky notes to stick up inspiring quotes or affirmations around your work surface in any specific order or choice. Next step is to unclutter your space. If you're anyone like me, I cannot work in an untidy environment, so be sure to unclutter your space. And when you clutter your space, you find out that there's free flow of ideas in your head because your environment is tidy. The less, the merrier. The next step is be flexible. Inspiration can come at any time or place. So create room for you to have access to other places to write. Don't be stuck at a place. You can change scene when you feel stuck or uninspired to write. You can go to the cafe, you can go to the library or any place you feel like you get inspiration. This can help your creative juices run and flow like a river. But my advice is don't do this too often. Next step is get comfortable because you'll be sitting for a long time. Consider getting comfortable chairs, comfortable wares in your workspace. The next step is choose your style. So every writer has something they do that gets them super comfortable and ready to start pushing ideas. Personally, I love to listen to music with these bad boys before I start writing. So be sure to do what makes you feel inspired to write. So choose your style. The next step is develop a writing habit. So Every best-selling author of today have one thing in common, which is a plan. This is a strategy to use to get to the last page of your first draft. In other words, you need to plan. The fun part, action step. First step, define your end goal. Write the big goals for your book down. Write down at least 5 things you want to achieve for your book. The next step is to reverse engineer your bigger goals. So break down your big goals into smaller goals that will help you achieve those big goals. A goal could be however long you want it. A small goal could be as deciding how long you want to write your book. A good example is if one of your big goals is to write 60,000 words in your first draft, a small goal would be to determine the number of weeks or months you decide to write those 60,000 words. After deciding how long you want to write those 60,000 words, then you're going to divide the duration of time you decide to write a book by those 60,000 words. So if you want to write 60,000 words for a period of 6 months, which is about 168 days, you have your 60,000 words divided by 168 days, which will give you 357 words. That means to achieve your 60,000 words in 6 months, you need to write at least 357 words a day. If you're not want to write every day and you decide to write 3 times a week, you also break down the process using 3 times a week instead of daily. Next step is to schedule your writing. So set a timer during your writing time and write till the timer goes off. To be able to maintain your writing streak, you have to schedule your writing or block off a particular time during the day or week for your writing time. And remember, people make time for what's important. So if writing is important to you, go and cross it out on your calendar for it. Next step, tell people your schedule. So if you're a busy mom and the only time you have to write is when your baby is taking a nap, you don't want to get sidetracked by anybody. So tell close friends and family your sacred writing time so no one gets to interrupt you during your precious writing time. Next step is to follow through your schedule. So it takes an average of 3 weeks to form a habit. Commit to writing with your schedule for at least 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks you will notice that a pattern has emerged. You'll feel weird when you don't do it. Next and last action step is to let someone be accountable for you. So this is where your writing partner or your writing community comes in. Share your goals and ideas with your accountability party and be accountable for one another. Next step is flesh out ideas for just one book. So writers, we have what we call the new book syndrome or the shiny thing syndrome. When you have this new idea, you want to just hop on and go to the next thing. No, commit to finishing a project before you hop on to the next one. Learn to say no to additional projects, and the best way to achieve this is to set deadlines for your writing projects. Create action plans that break your writing projects into parts. Next step is start writing your book. For your story to start and move forward, there should be a slope from one chain to another, because you're taking your readers on a journey. So where should you start? Start from the why of the change. Let me explain. Because your story is about something that changes from one thing to another, you need to start a scene that will lead to another scene with an intended goal or idea. Next step is deal with your distractions. So it's there writing, but you're not super focused. You're not laser focused on the goal. Let me share you a few tips on how to tame them. The fun part, action step, write by hand. I know this sounds a bit crazy, but you're not going to do this for the whole book. Whenever you lack distraction, just bring out a paper or a book and write by hand. This helps your ideas to flow freely. Trust me, it works. And after writing like for a few times, you can always go back to writing with your computer. Turn off your Wi-Fi. Oh my gosh, you know that social media is a huge distraction. When your Wi-Fi is on, you get notifications flying from all around the globe. So turn off your Wi-Fi. Plan ahead. According to Brian Tracy's book Eat That Frog, he talks about 6P formula, which is proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Plan your writing times ahead. If you're going to write tomorrow by 6 a.m., plan your writing schedule the day before. Alan Leckie once said, planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it. Isn't that amazing? Next step is motivate yourself to keep writing. So we all lose our writing mojo once in a while. So you started your book and then you lost your writing mojo and it came to a complete standstill. This is normal. So what should you do? Action plan. Motivate yourself to keep writing. Writing motivation varies from person to person, but I have a full video talking about how to stay motivated while writing your book, and I'm going to link it somewhere around in the cards. Be sure to try it and thank me later. As I come to a wrap, where will your book end? Remember, your story is taking us on a journey. Where is this journey leading us to? Take out time to envision the ending of your book. This will give you something to aim for and make all the difference between losing momentum and actually finishing your book. Fun part, action step. Show us how your story has progressed so far. How has the story changed since the beginning? Take out a piece of paper and write out what has changed since the start of your book. And that is a wrap of how to kickstart your book. I hope you found this really useful. Don't forget to like and share this video, comment, subscribe, leave your thoughts down below. If you have any video ideas you want me to consider, leave it down in the comment section and I will consider doing it for you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.